The Bad Guys is directed by Pierre Perifel and stars Sam Rockwell, Aquafina, and Craig Robinson. When the leader of a team of legendary outlaws grows tired of their life of crime, they will attempt to reform themselves and learn to become good. So I'm not gonna lie, even though I thought the trailer just looked passable, I did like the animation that was on display with the trailer. It's just that the story that they were telling, the story of villains becoming good guys in an animated film, 'cause that's never been done before. I still went to see it because, again, the trailer looked passable and the reviews that I saw were surprisingly good. I think this has like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. So obviously there was something there that I wasn't giving my full attention to as of yet. So I went to see the movie. I'm kind of mad by how much I liked it. I was fully prepared to rip into this kid's movie like I was one of the bad guys myself. But in the first 5 minutes, I was thinking to myself, no, I will not let the charm of this movie overtake me. Alright, so let's get all the good stuff out of the way. First of all, like I said with the trailer, the animation in this movie is awesome. Clearly, the designs of a lot of characters were borrowed from anime designs, so many of the characters have very fast, expressive, and funny movements. But even outside of that, the animation looks like it was hand-drawn first and then overlaid with CG, making for a lot of very unique textures and designs. And both animation aspects combine to make for some really tight and fun action sequences. And along with that, God, I loved the characters in this movie. The opening sequence is just two of the main characters talking in a diner and then moving on to another location, and just their interactions and just how much you know about them just through the dialogue and how they interact with each other is awesome, and you really do love the characters for that reason alone. You don't have to know their backstory. All of their backstory is just told in how they interact with each other. All of the characters have their own fun personalities, and each of the characters have their own fun comedic moments where their characterization gets to shine in the most comedic way possible. There were never any laugh out loud moments in my opinion, but I was always at the very least giggling. And because of how good the animation is and how much I liked the characters, it made for a story that, even though, like I said before, it is far from original, a story I still really liked because I liked the characters and I liked this fun tone, and I don't know, there's something about it that's very charming. It's very childish at times, but within that childish nature, there's also a lot of clever writing to it. It makes me forget that this was the same studio that brought us Boss Baby, and makes me remember, oh yeah, this is the same studio that gave us Shrek 2. Are there flaws? Yeah, for one, not every joke works. I mean, the majority of them do work on some level, whether they're actual laughs or giggles, but there are a few jokes, especially a running joke that ends up being a plot point at one point, that I just sort of scoffed at, and as the movie went on and this running joke kept going, I was just like, really? You're making this a thing in the movie? It's also kind of predictable at times. I mean, again, it is a kid's movie, so I know it's not supposed to be the most complex of stories, but I would have liked to have seen something new done to it instead of me knowing who the villain was and knowing half of the twists within the first 10 minutes of the movie. And within that, you also have your message, which, while not original, could be handled with some subtlety if it was given the right writing. And seeing how much clever writing was in the rest of the film, I thought it was going to be handled with some subtlety to it. No, it wasn't. Literally halfway through the movie, one of the characters says the message of the movie right away, and then throughout the last half of the film, they keep saying the message and keep laying it on heavy. And seeing how much I was really digging the movie in the first half, The more that the message became less and less subtle in the last half, the more I became disappointed in the overall writing. But even then, I will give credit where credit is due. There were one or two twists in the film that I legitimately wasn't expecting and I didn't see coming. And overall, again, even though there were times in the last half where I was disappointed somewhat, overall, I had a lot of fun. Again, the story the film tells is far from original, so not only is it very predictable at times, but you also see just how unsubtle the overly done message of the movie is told. But even with that said, the movie is still very enjoyable. The characters were likable, the comedy was clever, the animation was unique, and the action sequences were cool. I wasn't expecting to give an overly positive review, and even if I was going to give a review, I was expecting it to just be an it was fine sort of review. But I actually legitimately liked this movie, and I was surprised by just how much fun it was. I'm going to give The Bad Guys a B+. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what's your favorite DreamWorks movie? I'm sure a lot of people are going to say one of the Shrek movies, but for my money's worth, it's so good and so underrated. Watch it now. Even if you've seen it already, watch it again. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.